Hello, my name is Teal and today I'm going to be doing the Would You Rather book tag. So I think the original maker of this tag is Rachel Reed's. I've seen a lot of people do this tag. It's like a really old tag, it's from like 2014, but guess what, I'm new, so I get to do all the old tags that I want to do. And also it means that I can put out content without having to like really try, because I can just like answer somebody else's tag questions. Doesn't matter that nobody tagged me because I don't have booktube friends yet, but I'm still doing the tag, so okay, question 1 is, would you rather read only trilogies or read only standalones? Definitely trilogies. Like, I mean, technically you could just like write a standalone and just make it like really big. But I don't know, I just kind of like something about having like a set of books on a shelf, even if they're the same length as a standalone. And plus, most of my favourite books tend to be trilogies. I really do like series of books. I would prefer just like a series, not specifically a trilogy, but 3 is the magic number, and also my book series is a trilogy, so like, I feel like I'm a bit biased, but am I? Like, I'm allowed to be, is my answer. Question number 2, read only female authors or read only male authors? This one is really difficult. I'm trying really hard to think. A lot of my favourite series are by male authors, but I feel like at the moment there's a lot more coming out published by women, especially that like I want to read, but I think maybe there's like, I think that I've read maybe more books that I enjoyed written by men, but there are more books that I yet want to read that are written by women. I think I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to stick with my own gender. I'm gonna have to say, as much as I love I really do love all the ones that I read, but I'm gonna have to stick with it and say women also, because it means that I can read my own books when they get published, if and when. That's a hard question though. That's a really hard question. Question 3 is, would you rather shop at Barnes & Noble or shop on Amazon? I don't know what a Barnes & Noble is. I've never been to what, I'm assuming it's just a bookshop. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like an American book chain or something. I have no idea what a Barnes & Noble is. We have a thing called Waterstones, which is really nice because the one near me is 3 floors high and it's all like beautiful dark polished carved wood inside, and there is a coffee shop on like the 2nd floor, but I don't like coffee shops because I don't like coffee, but it's there. I really do like going into physical shops. However, I've got to say I do buy most of my books on Amazon because like it's cheaper, and also like I don't have to leave the house, so I'm gonna say Amazon. But if it came down to it, if I had to choose to only ever have online bookstores or only ever have physical bookstores, I choose to save the physical bookstores. But you know, if it's just where I alone am shopping, I just want to shop online because I'm a lazy little hermit who doesn't want to leave the house. Question number 4 is, would you rather all books become movies or TV shows? Which again is another really hard one because like, the Game of Thrones TV show is like the best thing that's happened to TV in a long time. I really love that series, and at the same time, like, I really love the Harry Potter films. I really love them, and also the Lord of the Rings movies. Excuse me, the Lord of the Rings movies are like, they're just culturally iconic. I love those movies. My house is very Lord of the Rings themed. We have a lot of Lord of the Rings things in my house. As much as I love TV shows like Game of Thrones, I'm gonna say that I would prefer all this is just to double check, every single book becomes a movie, because one, I can choose not to see a movie, but also TV shows, like if every single book becomes a TV show, like that's gonna clog like my airtime, and I don't want to miss like episodes of The Great British Bake Off or whatever because I don't know, Queen of the Tealing TV show episode 1,000,000 is on. Like I don't want to watch that. But also like if it's a movie, I can just choose not to watch it. I think the thing with movies is like, even if you had to split them up and make loads and loads and loads like they did with like things like Harry Potter, it's kind of like, that's fine. That's fine. Like if you put all of the Game of Thrones episodes into movie lengths and just like had like, you know, 2 or 3 episodes to a movie, and you just had like a ton of movies, that's fine. That's fine. I'll watch all of them. You know, it doesn't have to be given to me in hour-long segments. Question 5. Would you rather read 5 pages per day or read 5 books per week? So, as someone who's been on a massive reading slump, there's no way I could ever read 5 pages a day. That would just be Like, I don't know, I would never finish anything. I would never finish anything. Sarah J Maas books are like nearly 700 pages long. I don't know why, but they just are. As if I could limit myself to 5 pages. Like, I would slog through 5 books a week. And it doesn't say that they have to be different books, and it doesn't say they have to be long books, and I've got like some pretty short books on my shelf. So like I could just read one like big book a week and then read 4 or even the same one little book 4 different times. So I'm gonna go with 5 books a week, you know? Question 6 is, would you rather be a professional reviewer or a professional author? Author, hands down, that is my raison d'etre already. So next question. Question 7. Would you rather only read your top 20 favourite books over and over, or always read new ones that you haven't read before? As much as I've read, I have read my favourite books, especially my favourite books from childhood. I have read those several times over, and like I've recently gotten into that mood where for the first time in about a decade I'm like, I want to reread like the Harry Potter series. But I'm not a person who often rereads books. Like, I can read a book and love it for the rest of my life, but I have a good memory. Sometimes when it comes to, if I really enjoy a book, then I have a good memory for it, and I don't always feel like it's necessary to reread a book even if it's my favourite. Same with movies. Like, some of my favourite movies I've seen once, maybe twice. My favourite TV shows I've seen once, and it can be my favourite, but I don't have to rewatch it. So I would go with, I would only ever read new books. Because there's just so much more out there that I want to see, and maybe one of those would become one of my new favourites. Like, I don't want to close off. It's 20 books that you like, or every other book in existence is basically the question. So I would always read only new books. Question 8. Would you rather be a librarian or a bookseller? It's kind of a difficult question. I don't like talking to people, so like a library, all I might have to say is like shh, and also charge people for bringing a book back on time, but also librarians don't make that much, and in fact I think most of them are volunteers. Bookseller, like, do I just work at like Waterstones? Do I just work in a bookshop? Or do I actually like go around like trying to peddle my wares? Do I go around like vending books? I don't know, I don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other. I suppose maybe I'll say I'll prefer to be a bookseller, because librarians don't really get to interact very much. They just kind of, you know, they run the library. But there's a lot of things, there's a lot of books in the library that I just don't really care to read. And also, if I was a bookseller, I could sell the books that I like, and so I could like target my audience, and I could gush about my favourite books and get people interested by like my opinions in books, and I could sell all my favourite books, and I could talk about all my favourite books, and it would be like part of my sales pitch. So I think I would rather be a bookseller, if only for the selfish reason of I can pick and choose what I sell. Question 9. Would you rather only read your favourite genre or every genre except your favourite? I would only read my favourite genre. My favourite genre is fantasy, and I pretty much only ever read fantasy. It's very rare that I ever pick up anything that isn't in my favourite genre anyway, bar like the occasional copy of like Dracula or The Great Gatsby or something like that, you know. Like, I do sometimes give sci-fi a chance, but when it comes to things like contemporary or thriller or horror or romance, they're just not for me. I have a very limited taste, okay? Question 10. Would you rather only read physical books or only read ebooks? I would only read physical books. I don't think I own a single ebook, and I don't think I own a single, yeah, I don't own a single audiobook either. I just like to own the book. I like the feeling of taking something with me. I like the feeling of people being able to like see a book in my hands, see how long it is, and like how far I've gotten into it. I like that if I read a book over and over, you know, it can get worn. I like going to secondhand bookshops and finding like pre-loved books. I like the art. I like physically holding it in my hands. I like the book as an object as well as an experience. I think I just prefer the things that I like to be tangible sometimes. It's sort of the same thing as if there's a painting that I really love, yes, I can have it as my screensaver, but also if I ever see it as a print, I would probably maybe one day like to buy that print and have it in my house as a display, and then, you know, I can actually lend a physical book to other people. I'm sure you can probably do that with ebooks, but also like it just feels more personal, like to give someone like a physical thing sometimes. I'm not against ebooks at all, and I'm certainly not against audiobooks. It's just I have a preference for physical books, like a really big preference for physical books. I'm old school like that. I'm an old school elf and I like physical books. And that is the end of the tag. And I'm sure it's going to ask me to tag people, but like I don't know anyone. So you know, if you're watching this and you haven't done the tag, especially if you're like a complete booktube newbie like me and you've just started and you don't have a lot of followers and you don't have a lot of friends, then you can totally take this as me tagging you, and you can do this tag and not feel like, because I mean I just did this tag, nobody tagged me to do this tag, I just did this tag. I'm a strong independent elf booktuber and I don't need to be tagged to do a tag, but if you want to be tagged to do this tag, then you are tagged to do this tag. I'm sick of saying the word tag. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I enjoyed doing this tag. It was pretty fun. I will leave the original down below, even though it's really old and I'm sure like everyone's done this tag already, but like if you do want to go watch it and like do the tag, then all the questions are on that video. Thank you for watching me here. I really don't have an outro, so this is kind of it. So I'm gonna go now. Bye!